A series of ICE raids took place today throughout the Denver metro area. We know of immigration agents at least 7 locations. Thanks for joining us. I'm Kim Christensen.
And I'm Tom Green. It is still unclear at this point how many people have been detained or arrested. Here is a look at where we have seen federal agents today. The Edge at Lowry near 12th and Dallas in Aurora, and 3 other apartment complexes in Aurora, all targeted. Agents also went to 3 apartments in Denver and a mobile home park in Thornton.
And that's where we find 9 News reporter Evan Krugel. And Evan, you witnessed the raid there.
We did. That operation took place inside this mobile home park behind me, where federal immigration agents in tactical gear detained 4 people, including a woman and a baby. Here's video of those 4 people being detained. This happened around 2 o'clock this afternoon. We are choosing to blur their faces because we do not know who they are or why immigration officers are taking them into custody at this point. I can tell you the federal agents involved in this operation here have been moving across the entire metro area today. We followed them from a staging point in Aurora to a park in Federal Heights in North Denver, where they began assembling an armored vehicle with a ramming rod on the front. They then drove over to this mobile home community in Thornton on Elbert and Castle Road, where they parked that Bearcat facing into one of the homes. Immigration officers threw a flashbang at the home. They used a loudspeaker to announce they had a warrant and to tell those inside to come out with their hands up. A woman and a baby came out first. 2 men later followed them. All 4 were placed into Homeland Security vehicles. Now, the 2 men were taken away, then the woman and the child were released. We spoke with one neighbor who said the sudden arrival of dozens of armed agents was scary and surprising.
Well, there was a lot of cops, and I was just like, oh, that sucks, you know, just seeing like them trying to break in and break families apart. Yeah, like they made it a big deal for no reason. Like, I just think that they should do one-on-one instead of making it a big deal. Like, so many cops, so many everything, when they could just do one.
Now, other people who live in this area quickly gathered at the scene, yelling at immigration officers and at Thornton police. A supervisor tells me Thornton PD was here to provide crowd control and not to assist with that federal investigation. I did speak with the woman who was detained with that baby. Again, she was eventually released. She tells me one of those 2 men taken into custody was her husband. She says he is in the country without documentation, but she says she does not know why he's being arrested, and she does not know where he's being taken tonight. Reporting live in Thornton, I'm Evan Krugel. Let's send things over to Angeline McCall in Denver, who's been monitoring another ICE operation throughout the day. Angeline?
Evan, you talk about questions from so many residents as to why this was happening or why their loved one was being targeted. Those same questions were things that we heard from residents here at Cedar Run Apartments off of Leedsdale and Oneida here in Denver. Now, early this morning, very different scene. It's calm now, but there were a lot of ICE agents here, different enforcement agencies, HSI, including FBI, were also here, going door to door, asking people for some documentation or some form of authorization as to if they're here in the country. Now, one man who told us that ICE came to his door, they demanded documents, he said, and when he tried to close the door, they put their foot inside to jam it. Another man told us he was heading to work with his friend. They stopped them and asked them for documents, and they led his friend to a bus that was here waiting for people who would potentially be detained. He said he doesn't understand why his friend was caught up in this operation when he hasn't done anything criminal.
La verdad, lo único que quisiera decirle a la policía que trataran de agarrar a los criminales que sí son verdaderos, no al que está haciendo un bien para un estado y el país.
But as of right now, what I've been noticing is they're just targeting people that are getting ready for work, starting their car up, heating it up, dropping their kids off. That's who they're getting right now.
We asked ICE as to how many of these are targeted enforcements, as in how many people did they detain that they were actually searching for versus how many people did they just encounter because they were in the wrong place at the wrong time and weren't able to actually present any form of documentation. They said that they couldn't comment on that as of right now.
All right, thank you, Angeline, and thanks to Evan Krugel as well.